All right, now I'm going to go ahead and center it with the last little finishing touches of the centering process. So again, I'm pushing in at 6 o'clock, down on the wheel with my fist, my right fist, squeezing water whenever I feel any kind of friction. All right, now to do a cylinder, it's going to be slightly different than when we did a bowl. You want to put your hand on top of the mound. Make sure your thumb is in the center. You're going to slowly sink your thumb until you're about a ½ inch from the bottom. Okay, if you don't know what a ½ inch is, or about where a ½ inch is, I'll show you a way we can check that out. You take your needle, or your pin tool, you touch it down, so yeah, we got about a ½ inch from the bottom. And that little pinhole that we made in there will be just covered up immediately as soon as we're in there. Now what I'm going to do, keep my hands wet, is I'm going to take my thumb and I'm going to push to the outside wall and keep it about a ½ inch from the bottom and create like almost a little donut on top. So I take my thumb, pushing it to the outside wall. It's about a ½ inch at this point. And now we're going to go ahead and we're going to start with the lifting process. Now, with a bowl, bowls are always a little bit easier to throw than cylinders because physics wants to just kind of like throw things out and off. See when I put that sponge on there, how it just kind of throws it out? So in a bowl form, whenever you're throwing it, it wants to get wider naturally. So what we're going to have to do to make something a cylinder is we're going to have to apply more pressure on the outside when we're throwing in order to hold it up and take it up into that cylinder form. It's nice to keep your hands clean too. Keeps your clothes clean. All right. Also, just a lot of extra slip on your hands just kind of gets in the way. So, I got a damp sponge over here. I'm going to move my hands. I'm going to pinch down at 4 o'clock. I'm going to put my sponge on the outside to help keep the walls, the outside walls, nice and slippery. And then as I pinch, I'm going to use the timing of the wheel to lift up. I don't want to move faster or slower at any one point of this cylinder. So as I go down to 4 o'clock, I'm going to slightly pinch, and I start evenly raising my hands as I pinch to the top of this cylinder. Now the first pull just kind of gets it into a shape. Second one, a little more pressure on the outside. And you raise it all the way to the top. Third pull. Just a little bit of clay that formed up. Not a big deal. Now there's a little bit of clay that's pulling at the bottom. I'm sorry, a little bit of water that's pulling up at the bottom of the cup. So I'm going to take the sponge. I'm just going to go ahead and sink it in the bottom. Soak that up, because that will eventually start to erode out the bottom of your pot and make it really soft and muddy, and we won't be able to get it off the wheel. So we want to keep things wet, but not too wet. Alright, now I'm going to go ahead and do one more pull, and I think that's going to be all I could do with the capability of this, this clay at this time. I can't go much thinner because the stoneware is not super plastic. It was just made yesterday, and yeah, I think that's about it. It's about as heavy as I can make this. I mean, it's going to be a little heavier. It's about as thin as I can make it. Now, once we've got it in a cylinder form, you can do all kinds of fun things with it. One of the things you can do is if we wanted to make like a little belly on this pot, I'm going to take my sponge from the inside. I'm just going to kind of open it up. Now, when you stretch the clay, it always stresses the clay a little bit. So you want to make sure you smooth it out after you do that. See how I can kind of like add that? I'm going to take my finger and I'm going to stretch it just a little bit more. I got my sponge on the outside, smoothing out any sort of cracks or any sort of stress or stretch marks that might be happening on this pot. Pushing it a little bit rounder at the bottom there. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to push on the lip here. Just a touch. Now when you choke a piece, it's called choking it. Go right to the lip here, and you can sort of push it in and make it a little bit more narrow. It's nice when you're making cups to have the lip more narrow than anything else because it helps from whatever you're drinking from splashing out. Oops. I'll take my sponge and I'm going to clean up some of the slip that's building up on this. Make that lip nice and round because it is going to be touching your lip. And when you drink out of a cup, you want it to be very comfortable. You want that smooth feeling. You want it to be an enjoyable experience. CRF.
Ceramics, we're going to be doing anything with throwing?
Yeah, next week. So right now I'm just kind of smoothing things out, just making it just nice and even. Now, I'm going to take my pin tool. I'm going to cut off a little bit of this excess at the bottom.
You got enough time to get down there real quick and get lunch?
And I'm going to throw a foot on there anyway. Widen that out. Then we're going to go ahead and get it off the wheel. Get off the wheel the same way we did the bowl.